Can you talk about what is happening right now as we speak in Palestine? I mean, we're seeing people burned alive. We are seeing, obviously, all the usual suspects being bombed and targeted. So that would be hospitals, schools, obviously children and women suffering disproportionately. What are your thoughts on what is happening right now?
I I I mean I don't have words. I don't have thoughts. I only have tears. I mean I the this is also why I'm active, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to bear it. It's always on my mind, and I'm sometimes a lot of crying, but sometimes also mad, and I'm in a fighting back modus. But because I think, that this is the only thing we can do now, and to raise our voices, and to be loud, and to try to make our governments stand behind the decolonization of Palestine and not behind Israel, and especially in Austria and in Germany, where the governments completely agree to everything, and support and are complicit, and to everything Israel does. It's important to fight back.
It's very difficult to speak about this genocide, because we are out of words. And the reason that we are out of words is it's been going on for almost 2 years with no action from the Western so-called democracies. And the only action they took until now and continue to take is support the genocide. Militarily, financially, diplomatically, politically, socially, culturally, they support the destruction of international law. They support the destruction of humanity. Yeah, this is a test that humanity has failed. And this is the one test that humanity cannot fail if it wants to survive. So this is the first thing. The second thing is, even if you want to compare it to other genocide, let's take the worst genocide that we can think of, like the Jewish genocide by the Nazis. Well, a lot of those things were not done by the Nazis. They didn't do song and dance about people that they killed, not just because the technology did not exist. They tried to hide the genocide. And these people are proud. They're proud. They're sending their wife a birthday message by destroying a hospital or a university or a whole block of flats with people in it. Just, as a historian, I know that throughout the Second World War, the hospital, the Jewish hospital in Berlin, continued to operate for 6 years through the war for the 3,000 Jews that remained in Berlin. Nobody bombed the hospital. Nobody took the doctors and raped them as some kind of measure of punishment. For what? For being a doctor? What people are now doing, no Nazi or other genocide actually went to the public and said, what we're doing is right, support us. The population, the other populations in the other genocide were not part of it. And in some cases, arguably, they say that they didn't know it, like the Germans. Of course, it's a difficult argument. But here, the whole nation is, in a sense, voting democratically for genocide. This has not happened before. So all these things are making it really difficult to talk about it in comparative terms, because you can't compare it.
Right.
Where was there a genocide that was, using 2,000-pound bombs on schools and hospitals? The bombs existed before, but nobody thought of doing that. So we now, where was there a genocide that intellectuals, writers, doctors, poets, nurses, and of course journalists were decimated at a rate that, in all the other conflicts in the last 80 years, less journalists were killed than in Gaza. This is incredible. I mean, you're a journalist. You know what we're talking about. If you talk about the genocide, you're killed. A woman that was part of a film by an Iranian director was killed when it became clear that the film is going to be in the French festival. They killed her a few days before the film came out with her family. For God's sake, what is Jewish about it? What is human about it? What is legal about it? What is moral? So we're actually having a problem finding the words and finding, because it has never happened like it does now. And the whole nation of Israel is supporting it. Between 82 and 91%, depending on which poll you go for, are supporting it. So this is democratic. This is totally democratic.
Right. I think a lot of people like to say, oh, Netanyahu doesn't represent most Israelis. We have to separate the government from the people, which I think in general is a valid thing to when you're looking at countries versus their governments, people versus their governments. But in this case, there really isn't that split.
No, there isn't a split between. I think that Netanyahu is very representative of Israeli society, but also those who oppose Netanyahu, they are no less of a problem. Actually, they are a greater problem, and they are actually even more racist and more supremacist. And the numbers that Haim mentioned, also in the previous massacres in Gaza, in 2008, Cast Lead, 2014, Protective Edge, 95% of Israelis, and when we say Israelis, we never count the second-class citizens, we never count the Palestinians who are citizens of the state, because it is an exclusive society by design. 95% of them supported the massacre that was ongoing. Only 3 or 4% thought that Israel was using excessive force when they leveled the entire Shijai neighborhood. So, and the same numbers also exist today. So there is a poll taking place where people are now. There was just a recent poll published, and you have the vast majority supporting a genocide, the vast majority supporting ethnic cleansing, the vast majority even supporting starvation policy. And that is what we are fighting against. So yes, everything that was mentioned, Israel is quite literally looking at it as finishing the job that they haven't finished in 1948, because there are some Palestinians still left in Palestine, and that is a problem for them, Zionists, all of them, with no exception. At the same time, we also see the complete and utter failure of humanity. Optimistic me would like to see that there is also a counter measure to that, a kind of a balancing act to that, which is, as the fascists are joining forces, also the anti-fascists should be joining forces. We're seeing the people of the world demonstrating, taking action, taking very inspirational actions, but it is still not good enough. So we really have to step up that part.
And let's not forget, we live in the West, all 4 of us, and the West is financing, is supporting, is enabling, is justifying this. The West, in its moral and other forms of decline, is not just unable to stop the genocide, but it does all it can to further it and assist it. That's what the first Jewish Anti-Zionist Congress is going to point out, to criticize, to attack, and hopefully to remove from our society. We as Jews have a duty, but also have, a position in history that requires us to remove this toxic policy from our societies, because our societies are not free because Palestine is not free. This was already said by Mandela and Archbishop Tutu many years ago. No one will be free until Palestine is free. We can now appreciate their wisdom more than ever before.
let's not forget the argument, the fake argument of criticizing Israel is anti-Semitic, which in Austria and Germany it's dominant. And with this Congress, we can make the point that it's ridiculous to accuse us all of being anti-Semitic Jews. Even that's if they do it, but it's obvious that this is just ridiculous. So we can at least also make this point. And I think everything that's happening in Gaza and the West Bank in Palestine now urged us to do this as quick as possible and as monumental as possible. And to do it in Vienna is especially important because here this madness started here, and we still have the Herzl stairs, we still have Herzl Place here, we still have politicians that go there and commemorate Herzl and everything. So yes, it's important to do it here in Austria, and I really hope that it will continue to live, and it will continue to take place also in other places. And yeah.
Great. Yeah, and of course, just want to add that the idea that criticizing Israel as anti-Semitic is, of course, anti-Semitic in itself, because it is based on the premise that all Jews are a monolith who support Israel. It perpetuates that dual loyalty trope, which Zionists are constantly accusing others of engaging in, and when they accuse others of engaging in that, they're being totally disingenuous. And it also creates anti-Semitism, because what will create more anti-Semitism than the idea that all Jews support a genocide that's being live streamed as we speak? So.
I really have to mention that the building where the representatives of the Jewish community in Vienna are sitting, they have the Israeli. There's the synagogue and also the bureaus there and the offices. They have an Israeli flag over there. Is there? It's complete conflation, and who wonders that this taking this apart is difficult for people,
Right.
And it's
while they attack us as anti-Semitic, they are in bed with the worst anti-Semites on earth. Every anti-Semitic leader is working with Israel, and that's their human shield for their fascism, for their racism. The EU is one of the most criminal regime, a combination of regimes, all of them who are vying with each other to support Israel more than the rest. I think this has to end.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much, and really looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Great.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help.
Of course.